This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
He's always ready. He is jamming with his cool hat, kick back, great view as always. You know you have a great view, right? You probably have one of the better views of our guests. Just
At
looks
the show.
it's a slick looking room, dude. It just is. It looks good, man. It does look tight.
We're building a pool out in the backyard, so I don't know you want to see what it looks like out there. It's kind of like the Dolphins, a lot of mud, a lot of mess.
Yeah, but man, when it's done, it'll be awesome. You'll use it for a whole month and never use it again.
Yeah, but when are the Dolphins done?
I'm just saying that's what usually happens to pool people. It's like you get the pool, you use it for the first month, and then it's there for the rest of your life. And you're like, yeah.
Look good.
Yeah, it looks good. Yeah, it's tanning and hanging out, having a couple drinks, watching a game right by the pool. That's actually. Are you building like a little bar area and a hanging out area?
Not a bar, but we do have like a covered area with seating and.
Right. Okay.
I ordered these really nice poolside lounge chairs, and due to COVID, they told me it's going to be minimum 26 weeks. 26 weeks.
Oh yeah,
chairs.
Dude, I had to order a sliding glass door. It took us 6 months. 6 months to get it. It's not their fault. It's just, have you gotten to the point? I wonder if you're where I'm at right now, Joe, that wherever you go nowadays, you're not really expecting incredible service. You're not really expecting immediate results. It's almost like the position the world is in right now, and it doesn't matter. And I don't know, maybe I'm a little different because I deal with business owners all day long, so I know the problems that they're going through. So I've kind of developed this thing where I have to learn this Key West attitude now. That when you go to the Keys, it's chill and all. You better be chilled now in today's world because it ain't about fast service anymore. Now everything's delayed, dude.
Yeah, I mean, in general, it's been hard to get good service down in South Florida, and I don't mean just in businesses. I mean trying to get someone out to your house to fix something.
Amen. Yeah.
A plumber, an electrician, a carpenter, a cabinet worker. Like, it's really hard. So it's never been more important to have relationships and to have references. And it'll be interesting to see how Chris Greer comes through with his list of references and his personal relationships, the network that he has as the Dolphins try to put together their coaching search.
Well, what this has done now is, we've had this whole thing because, sometimes I hear this silly ass argument. Oh, well, he's been there for 18 years. Well, dude, the last 18 years, he's not telling Saban what to do or Ireland or anybody else. Okay, so let's stop with that. So we can eliminate that. But now he finally got his run as GM. Okay, we don't need to argue about the times when he was with Gase or Tannenbaum, whether he's in charge or not, what decision he made or not. Forget about all of that. It's the last 3 years. This is your job. You hired your guys. Now you made your mistake. Your mistake was you hired Flo and he became a power freak, and now you had to get rid of him. Well, for Chris Greer, there's no more arguments. There's no more discussions. Everything is clear now. Now that front office has to nail it, Joe. This has to be the hire or everybody goes down. That's what's going to happen.
Or Chris Greer gets to make another hire and draft another quarterback. I don't know.
I don't think he gets to decide another head coach. He has to, just like, look, one of the reasons why for months I was saying you got to get rid of Flo. What was the main reason? Besides him being an a-hole, and I knew he was tearing it up in that building, but he couldn't build a staff. So if you can't build a staff, I have no use for you as a head coach because you've got to be able to replace them like Andy Reid does. He has one coordinator after another, and they all do this. And Belichick has had offense and defensive coordinators all the time, and they move on or come back or whatever the hell. But you've got to be ready to do that kind of stuff, not just once, but many times. And the example I used was Mike Vrabel 2 weeks ago. Arthur Smith, his offensive coordinator, is the head coach of Atlanta. He had to replace him, and he's already at 10-digit wins again this year. That's the kind of head coach you need that can not only hire one staff, but another staff and another staff. So this is your job now. You must nail the guy that can put together a staff. And if you don't do that, I don't think Chris Grier is going to get any other breaks whatsoever. I think it's pretty obvious that this is the line in the sand at this point in time.
So do you go offense? Do you go defense? Do you go experience? Do you go up and comer?
Who's your number one? Who's your number one? Joe Schad is now Chris Grier. Who are you hiring? I know who I'm hiring. Who are you hiring?
I haven't really thought of it that way. I would have to do a lot of work on Doug Peterson.
Okay.
Because he's had success, because he's an offensive guy, because he's been here in Miami, I would have to dig heavily into him. I would definitely want to talk to him. I don't hate the Dan Quinn idea. If he has an offensive coordinator like Mike McDaniel, maybe, who the Dolphins are lining up to interview because he's from the Shanahan tree. But yet you have to make sure if you hire a defensive guy that the offensive staff plan is really sound and really locked in.
And Shanahan,
I'll have this guy, and this guy, and then they don't
help you out. By the way, Shanahan worked with Quinn, so the guy under Shanahan. So there's a little synergy there. But go ahead.
Yeah, that would be the connection. I would be a little worried about the quote unquote, up and comer. They went that route with Adam Gase. Kellen Moore obviously is a popular name.
Dable's kind of interesting because he's bounced around a lot for me, so I kind of like it, but I'm not going in that direction. I'm not going with the unproven guy.
I like what Dable has done in Buffalo with Josh Allen. I like that he's been with the Dolphins. I like that he's been with Belichick and Saban. Although, when you look at it, there are now no Belichick disciples standing, none as head coaches. With Joe Judge, so many of these guys have tried to do it the Belichick way and failed. And everything you hear from Dable and people around him is that he's not Belichick-like in terms of being a jerk.
No, he's not. No, he's not. I remember him.
When I met him, he seemed like it's hard to say, but when I met him, he seemed like a pretty pleasant guy. And there's a trend there.
Hey, compare your dealings with Dable and compare your dealings with Flo. That's all you got to do.
Well, these are pleasant people. Dan Quinn, Vance Joseph, Kellen Moore, who I interviewed numerous times, Doug Peterson, Eric Bieniemy, Jim Caldwell. If you notice a trend there, they're pleasant people. And that will be nice if the Dolphins hire a pleasant person. Chris Grier is a pleasant person, and I'm sure that he would like to work with a pleasant person. That's not the number one reason you hire somebody.
No. Of course not.
But it would be nice to work with someone who's good in the area of communication and collaboration and respect and relationship building. That would be nice.
Yeah, I'm with you. You mentioned my candidate, the last one. That's my candidate, Jim Caldwell. That's the guy I like. He's had success in many different ways. He took over for Cam Cameron in the middle of a season in Week 11, and the Ravens took off, and Flacco went 11 touchdowns and no interceptions, leading them to the Super Bowl. That defense was middle of the road. Ray Lewis was making tackles 5 yards downfield at that point. It's not the Ray Lewis from the trip before for them that he was a dominant force. It was a worn-down Ray Lewis at that time. The offense carried him. Caldwell did an excellent job. He did a good job taking over for Dungy. Plus, Dungy hired him. Okay? And we're talking about now John Harbaugh hiring him. So then he goes to Detroit, which is just a mess. And he goes to the most dysfunctional football team in the last 70 years. And he has 3 winning seasons in 4 years and 2 trips to the playoffs. Joe, when you do that in Detroit, you need a 50,000-foot statue built outside the stadium for you. You need to be put in the Ring of Honor. You need to be considered for the Hall of Fame. You know how they rewarded that man? They fired him to hire Matt Patricia, the Belichick disciple, with a bird's nest on his face. You know what I'm saying? So Caldwell, for me, has proven over and over again that he can handle difficult circumstances like Baltimore. You know, he can take over for a Dungy. He can go to a mess like Detroit and actually win. He can build a staff. He knows quarterbacks, obviously. So that's good for Tua. And at his age, at 67, you know, Levy coached into his 70s, so I don't want to hear the age. But he is smart enough, and he also doesn't have the ego that he could hire the next guy to be his coordinator and groom him to be the next head coach.
Now, how about this idea? How about you hire? I'm fine with Jim Caldwell as long as you have a defensive plan. And I'm wondering. Hold on.
He's a head
coach. What about keeping Josh Boyer, running back the same system, or promoting Gerald Alexander to defensive coordinator and running a very similar or same system? You on board with that?
Listen, I'm on board. Once you hire Caldwell, my brother, if he feels Boyer's the guy, I trust him. If he feels somebody else is the guy and he wants to go get, I don't know, whoever he wants as a defensive coordinator, you know, Mike Zimmer, whatever, dude. I'm not gonna put that limitation on the man because I respect Jim Caldwell enough that I feel that whoever he hires, he knows what the hell he's doing, dude.
Do you think Boyer would stay with Flores if he went to the Giants or Bears or something, or stay and run his own show in Miami?
No, he'll stay here. He'll get away from Flo. He'll stay here. He's not. First of all, I don't even think Flo's going to get a job. I think Flo is just getting, you know, they want to just kick the tires is what they're doing with Flo, I think, around the league. I don't think he gets a job.
I mean, he was 8-1 in his last 9, and Adam Gase got hired. I think Flores is going to get a job.
I think so, too, maybe as a defensive coordinator for somebody. I don't think he'll get it as a head coach. Now, there are stupid teams like the Jets and the Lions. So teams like, you know, usually the Giants aren't that stupid, but then again, look, they just went through Gettleman and Judge. So
listen,
if they want to hire another
would be an upgrade over Judge.
I don't know, man.
That organization, Judge seemed lost. Flores was not lost.
Okay.
They won 8 of their last 9. He swept the Patriots. I mean, we can't dismiss. If you don't like him, that's fine. But
no. But how are you not lost when you have Jalen Phillips at the beginning of the year dropping back in coverage? How are you not lost when you know that Jerome Baker can't play in traffic and you put him at middle linebacker? You know, the first thing scouts told me about Jerome Baker.
Him and he flourished.
No, he flourished when he was on the outside.
Yeah, no, they moved him.
Why'd you put him in the first place in the middle?
He played a lot of linebacker the previous several seasons.
But he excels outside. Why do you play Jalen Phillips in coverage? Just send him against the damn quarterback. Why is Mike Gesicki on the sidelines? Why isn't Mac Hollins playing more? Why did you stick with Jacoby Brissett thinking you could actually make it happen with Jacoby Brissett? Dude, I can name 4,000 things he did that that's the reason why they're not in the playoffs. I love how we brag about the 7 games and we don't talk about the 1-7, that's the reason why you're out. That's why they fired his ass. They said, okay, so we've got to deal with an asshole that gets in the way, and this a-hole not only gets in the way, but he's also stopping us from winning games. No, we can't do this. I mean, if you're going to be an a-hole, then you got to get it done. But if you're not getting it done, you can't hire your staff, and you're making stupid decisions, and you're fighting with players, and we've got to trade them. We got no use for you, man. So
it is fascinating. You know, the Dolphins starting 1-7. In retrospect, there's a decent chance that owner Stephen Ross knew at that time that he was going to be making a change. So then all of a sudden they win 8 out of 9. Does that make it more difficult for him to pull the trigger on the transaction?
Nope, because he lived it already.
I mean, it should have. It's certainly a factor.
No. See, the thing is, it's what I've been talking about for a couple of weeks now here. Let me see, what date was it that I brought it up here? Let me see, because I have my paperwork here as always. I always keep my notes.
Receipts.
This was January 3rd, so we are on the 12th, 9 days ago. He lived it. 2016, Gase went 1-4, then went 9-2. And I'm sure they reminded him, this doesn't mean anything, this 7-game winning streak. Sperano in 08, 2-4, then finished 9-1. He wasn't around for Saban, but Saban started 3-7 and then won 6 in a row to finish 9-7. This has happened already a couple of times. It means nothing. It means that the players are pros and they went out there and they were trying. It's not that they
didn't quit. That's relevant. They quit on Adam Gase. Just in general, it's ridiculous how quickly NFL teams are moving on from coaches. It's absurd.
Well, but what would you rather do?
Tweeted everybody who hasn't made the playoffs in the last 2 seasons has been fired. 2 seasons. I mean, that's ridiculous. It's
but what's better? What's better, to hang too long with Sperano, too long with Philbin, too long with Adam Gase? It's you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't, Joe.
But the only organizations that aren't jokes are the ones that actually have some stability. I mean, it's just a fact. I was hoping that
they found the coach. But they found a coach. They found a coach. Remember, every single coach that's been fired by the Miami Dolphins has never resurfaced to become a good head coach anywhere else ever again. Yet, all of their personnel guys have all gone on to have success in Spielman, Ireland, and Hickey. So, in the end, all these guys they fired, they did the right thing.
So and maybe they should hire a coach with who took some punches elsewhere. You know what I mean? As opposed to a first-time head coach. I'm on board with the idea of hiring someone, if possible, with some head coaching experience.
Yeah, I need a Jim Caldwell type, a Jack Del Rio, Doug Peterson, even though I was
Doug Peterson, Dan Quinn, Jim Caldwell, to me.
No Dan Quinn for me. Oh, no. I saw enough of that on game day. He's a terrible game day head coach, dude. Terrible, dude. There were so many mistakes, and his teams
You don't think he can improve in that area?
Man, I know he's a great dude, and I know he runs a great defense, but his teams were so streaky, Joe. That's the thing. I mean, you can ask a Falcons fan that lived it. That's the problem with Dan Quinn. He could never find consistency with his teams. It was all hell or all heaven. And it was just one of those weird things.
Well, I do like that Dan Quinn and Doug Peterson have something in common, aside from being good guys.
RPO?
But they brought their teams to a Super Bowl. That counts for something to me.
Sure.
If you bring your team to a Super Bowl, I mean, sure, you get a little good luck, good bounces here or there, but that counts for something. That gives you a little credibility. The credibility that the Dolphins lacked at offensive coordinator. Doug Peterson and Dan Quinn can stand in front of a room of young players and say, I have led a team to the Super Bowl. Unfortunately, the Dolphins didn't bring an offensive coordinator who could stand in front of the room and say, whether it was at Clemson or the San Francisco 49ers or Stanford, whatever, I know what good offense looks like. We've scored 30 points a game. Follow me. I know what I'm doing. The Dolphins didn't have that. They didn't have that. Chad O'Shea had never done it. Chan Gailey turned out the most accomplished, successful offensive coordinator Flores had.
I liked him the first go around, dude. I was a beat guy in those days. I thought Chan did a terrific job.
He received undue criticism. That was a mistake.
Yeah, that was. I think Chan Gailey's a damn good coach overall, man. Quickly before we let you go here, do you expect this to be a fast process? Because I think they want to get this done by the Senior Bowl, so the coach is actually interviewing during the Senior Bowl his assistant coaches and things like that. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, the problem is some of these guys are still coaching, right? The Bills guy, the Niners guy, the Cowboys guy, the Chiefs guy. Some of these guys are still coaching.
But they can still interview, can't they? Like before? Like during the bye or something like that, right? Aren't they allowed, Joe?
Well, if they didn't already interview.
Right. Okay.
I think they have to wait until the week before the Super Bowl or until they're eliminated.
Okay. All right. That's how.
So there's still a wait and see. I remember with Flores, we were at the Super Bowl. We all knew he was hired. So And this is more competitive than the Dolphins might have hoped. All of a sudden, you're going to have 7, 8 openings where you were hoping maybe it'd only be 3 or 4.
Right.
So it's more competitive. If you decide you want a Brian Dable, do you pull the trigger on that hire knowing there's other teams that are involved? Gets dicey.
What did you we'll wrap it up with this. Joe Schad, American Dream Lending, Miami Dolphins weekly report. What's the one story that you heard from this whole mess behind the scenes that maybe even surprised you?
Well, we've read and heard some things about Flores' relationship with Tua, and that does not surprise me at all. I mean, it is quite obvious to me that Flo was not a huge fan of Tua. And it was quite obvious to me that Tua was not a huge fan of Flo. And so even though owner Stephen Ross said that wasn't a factor, you got to get along with people.
Yeah.
And, getting along with the quarterback would have been helpful. Would have been helpful.
I don't know. Did you read Dave Hyde's article?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was laughing at that article because, I'm like, dude, he played for Saban. If Tua got along with Saban, and if he says he has a problem with Flo, I'm going to go with Tua on this one. I'm going to side with Tua. And I know I'm a Tua-non, I get it. But I'm still going to side with Tua because he dealt for 3-4 years with the ultimate hard ass in the world, and he didn't have an issue with him. So to me, the one common denominator, it's Flo's the problem with a lot of people, not just Tua.
Doesn't make him a bad coach. Smart tactician, organization, discipline, structure. Penalties were down, wins were up, defense was good. I am a little worried about whether this could prove to be a mistake. I hope not.
Well, this is it. This is the fork in the road.
Yeah.
One way or another, we're going to find out. And if not, they're going to end up, I know this story, they'll end up cleaning house if they don't get it right. That's for sure. You can bet your ass on that one. All right, Joe, enjoy the week, my brother. Appreciate you taking time as always. Follow him on Twitter at Schad Joe as always, and catch his work at the Palm Beach Post. Please subscribe, folks, like I do. Support our local writers here. All right. I don't support them only by creating this platform, but we support them by subscribing too to the Palm Beach Post.
It's really
right?
not that expensive. It's worthwhile to get access to every story. So thanks to those who do it.
What is it, like $9 or something stupid?
Yeah, the offers vary. I mean, sometimes you can get a dollar introductory for 3 months, $1 for 6 months, $6 a month for a year.
Yeah.
$60 a year. I mean, come on.
It's stupid. And they work their asses off.
Thanks, man.
They put up some good content. So check out the Palm Beach Post, man. Let's support it. All right, Joe. Love you, brother. Talk to you later. You be good. You got it. There you go. That is Joe Schad, baby, and our American Dream Lending.com Miami Dolphins report.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.